Hey guys, today I'm going to help you start with meal planning. And most of you guys are on a program that is either the 21 Day Fix or incorporates the 21 Day Fix nutrition component to it with the container system, like Country Heat or Size or 22 Minute Hardcore, or a bunch of other programs that incorporate this. Or you are doing another program and using the nutritional containers to be part of your nutrition for your program. So I kind of wanted to take it step by step on how to get started and how to use the guide that came with your program. So I have a digital version because it's easier for me to show and explain with doing it this way. So this is the front of your book, and this is the 21 Day Fix. Now, if you have Country Heat or a booklet from another program, it's very similar. So just take that in mind. So first thing I'm going to encourage you to do is I want you to make sure that you read the book. I know, sometimes we don't want to sit down and have a big book to look at, but just read it. And it might not all make sense to you the first time you read it through, but you'll kind of get a better understanding of where you need to go when you are reading. We've already read it once. So that's the first thing I need you to do. And I want you to, there's some things to think about in this plan. So there are treats and indulgences that are already built into the system. So you're not going to be depriving yourself or, having to go without, because those things are built in, and you get 3 of them a week to switch out with your food, and I will show you how to do that. But I just want you to keep that in mind when you're starting to plan. So like wine can be in there, chocolates, desserts, things like that, little treats that to treat yourself, so you don't feel like you're never, being able to go out and eat and do the things that you enjoy. Because this is not about restriction. It's not about not being able to, a yes or no list of foods that you can never ever have. But you need to read the book, and so the book will kind of explain everything. And if you're not prepared by reading the book, then you're not going to see the results that you want to see in your program. There's lots of things in this in this booklet, so let's start and look through it. There's recipes, there's explanations, and there's foods and everything. So let's look through it. So the first thing you're going to do, open your book, and I'm just going to scroll through. You're going to see a table of contents. First thing you're going to do is go to the section called Getting Started in 5 Simple Steps, and we're going to figure out our caloric intake. That's basically how many calories you need every day, what your needs are. And depending on your goals, most people are trying to lose weight or that kind of thing, but there's different goals. You're going to use this formula right here to figure out what bracket you will be in, because there's different brackets for depending on where you're starting and how much you weigh and all that kind of stuff. So the second thing you need to do after you read the book is figure out what bracket you're in and figure out your caloric level. It's just a simple math formula. You can kind of put it in and figure it out, and it does tell you on there if your number ends up being less than 1,200, you're just going to, minimum is 1,200, so if it's less than 1,200, you stay at A, and if it's greater than 2,300, that you're going to stay in, you're not going to go outside of that range. So that's what you need to do. And so after you get that, you're going to look at the containers, okay? And so there are a rainbow of containers, and so you can only get one of every container. Now that doesn't mean that you only get one green container one time a day. No, depending on what bracket you're in determines how many of those containers you have. You just have those containers to measure with. to measure, you know, you fill the container to where the lid can close. We're not talking a mountain here. We're talking about you should be able to fill the container to where the lid can close, and that counts as 1 serving of that container. So as you can see here, the green container is for your vegetables, you know, all your veggies that go in there. And the purple container is for your fruits. The red container is for your meats or proteins. Your yellow is all your healthy carbs. Blue is your fats, healthy fats like avocados and stuff, and cheeses. And your orange container is your dressings. And you do get teaspoons that you have to provide yourself, that are also you're going to measure with. So I was going to go through the list. So in your booklet, they have a list. I'm going to zoom past some things here. They have a list of foods for each container that they recommend. Now, it's not an exhaustive list of foods, but it's a great place to start. So let's look at the green container. These are some of the things that in the green container that you're going to fill it with. And I recommend in each one of these lists, you either highlight, circle, or write down your favorite things from that list. That way you have like a go-to cheat sheet of like, I need a green. What can I do? What? And you have a list, and it's not an overwhelming list of things that you might not like, but just a select few of things that you like to eat a lot, or that you enjoy to eat. And I also want to say in these lists, the top of the list is the most nutrient dense to the least. Not to say one's better than others, but that's just how they rated them on the list. So, broccoli, spinach, lettuce, all that kind of stuff. So basically you fill the container, and if you can fill it, put the lid on it, it counts as a serving. So that's all your greens. Let's look at the purple. And so purple is all your fruits. And they do count like pico de gallo salsa as a fruit. Because there's just rhymes and reasons to some of the things that they put in there, and that is on the list. It's right here on the list. And tomato sauce. So the reason why tomato sauce is in there is because it's the caloric density of tomatoes, and the sugar in tomatoes makes it a purple. A red container is your proteins and meats. So there's some things that you can just know, like 2 eggs is a red container. You don't have to measure that. That's just what it is. Your Shakeology will be 1 scoop will be your red. Your it goes all the way from turkey bacon. There's all different kinds of meat choices. Your yellow is carbs, and these are going to be carbs. They even have waffles and pancakes on there. But just know that like 1 flour tortilla is 1 yellow, or you can get 2 corn tortillas. So, that's on here, obviously down here, but that helps with wraps and stuff like that. So any carb will be your yellow. Your blue container is your healthy fats. So cheeses, nuts, avocados, and I want you to pay special attention to the nuts, because it's not filling this container, because nuts are so dense in calories. You actually need to count out your nuts, because more than 8 cashews will fit in a blue container, but 8 cashews is a serving in a blue. So just so you know, nuts just are so dense in fat and calories that's just how it works. Let's see. Now we can do our orange. And our orange container is basically salad dressings and seeds. So there's also olives and peanuts. This is how the nutritionist did this. But that's how you measure it for your salad dressings. And then the last thing is your teaspoons. So teaspoons are all going to be all your nut butters, peanut butter, almond butter, all that kind of stuff, and oils. So if you're going to cook with olive oil or coconut oil or whatever, you're going to measure it as in a teaspoon format. And then we'll talk about free foods. So any vinegars, mustards, seasonings, spices, garlic, to hot sauce, all the extract you could think of. All those are free. You can use as much as you want. So if you want to, I like to make a tuna salad with tuna and put lots of mustard in it, like a honey mustard kind of thing. Dijon mustard, it's in there. Or you can get spicy mustards and stuff like that. So mustards are free. Mustards are free. So I want to show you kind of what I do. So what they have here is they actually give you recipes to follow, all different kinds of recipes already allotted for you, and shows you the container amount, and even breaks it down by containers. Like here's some red container recipes and things like that. But I kind of want to zoom to the sample meal plan that they give you and show you kind of how, and that's the CEO of Beachbody right there. That was his 21-day fix results. It's kind of amazing. So I'm going to show you how I take this sample meal plan that they give you and how I plan. And so I'm going to do it on a, I kind of make this sheet that looks like this, and you can print one out or you can write it by hand. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. And I'm doing it for bracket A because a lot of people fall into that bracket for what they get, so I figured I'd do it the best way I can. And so there's a couple ways you can do this, and I'm going to show you how to do it with a sample meal plan, and then I'm going to tell you some tips and tricks to how I found some time-saving things. So on the side, I put the containers on what I get. So I get 3 greens, 2 purples, 4 red, 2 yellow, 1 blue, 1 orange, and 2 teaspoons every day. So you're going to fill that green container 3 times. You're going to fill the purple container twice. So I know some people get the containers and they're like, oh, that's all I get? Like, no, you get 3 times the green, 2 times the purple. So it is actually a lot more food. So if you go back to the plan, so basically you have breakfast. So you get to choose one of these. So I love to start the day with oatmeal. So I would do 1 hard-boiled egg. So I would put it here. And that would be 1 red. So I'd come on my reds and I'd take off a red. If I'm doing this with handwriting, I would just scratch it out and put a red, but I'll just take it away that way. And then let's see, it has cooked oatmeal, so that would be a yellow. That would be a yellow. So I'd come to my yellows and I'd take 1 yellow off. And then I would have sliced apples or berries or anything, but I'm going to follow the plan. So apples, that would be a purple. So I'd come to my purples and I'd take 1 off. Then I'm going to go to my first snack, and they recommend Shakeology. Now, I always tell people to replace Shakeology with the meal they struggle with the most. So if you're a 3 o'clock in the afternoon snacker and you find that that is the most complicated meal for you, like you reach for cookies or chips or that kind of stuff, then put it there. If you don't like breakfast, you can put it there too. But for the sake of just showing you how to plan, I'm going to leave it in the outline of how we're doing it so that we can just continue on. That's just my thing. So I like to make my Shakeology with peanut butter or almond butter. So I'm going to do the first option. So I'll put, I guess I need to put my snack right here. So my first snack would be Shakeology, and that would be a red. So I'd come out here, take off a red, and I would do my nut butter. I would do peanut butter, and that would be 1 teaspoon. So I'd take 1 off of here. Then we go to lunch. Do the same thing. So I'm going to look at my choices and see what I would have, and I'm going to pick the first one. And if you don't like quinoa, say you get to your planning and you're like, I don't really like quinoa, but I like rice. I like brown rice. You can fill your yellow container with rice. It is not set in stone, guys. If you don't like the yellow that's in the plan, go look at the list of the yellows and look at the ones that you circled, highlighted, or wrote down as your favorites and plug it in, okay? So I would do, it says mixed salad. That's one of my greens. Grilled chicken, and they cooked it in olive oil, so that would be 1 red and 1 teaspoon. Oops, I didn't put it good. That would be chicken, 1 red, so I'd come here and take a red off. Oil, so I have 0 left for that. And then I personally don't eat a whole lot of quinoa, so I'll show you. I'll just put cooked rice or quinoa or whatever you would like. And then I will put that here. So you're just going to continue to go along this plan and do this for each day. You can trade out your meats, you can trade out your things, and that is kind of how I plan on a daily basis and how to get it, you know, to plan each day. And it does get faster. I know at first that they're thinking this is going to take a little time, and learning is everything. As you learn, you get faster at it. And as you get faster at it, as you do it more, you'll get better at it. So I just encourage you to pick a day to sit down and plan each day out. And if a week overwhelms you, start with 2 or 3 days. And some of the tips I've found that I really think save time is if you pick and you do 1 day's worth of meals and then you repeat it. You can repeat it either the next day or every other day, so you're only really planning a couple days a week instead of 7 separate days, if that makes sense. So I'm a creature of habit. I like things easy. So when I'm prepping, my vegetables and stuff like that, I want to be able to cut up a bunch of things, not just for 1 day, but maybe for 2 days. And so I do change it, but I try and do multiple days of things. So if I'm cooking chicken for a salad, then the next day I'll cook chicken one time and then use the chicken for a wrap, or just eat it with rice or a rice bowl or something like that. So start with the plan that they have there for you. That way you get into the routine and kind of understand the containers, and then you can venture out and try new things and experiment a little bit once you've got your footing in the system. So I hope this helps you, get a good jump start on the 21-day fix and the nutrition program. And I'm so excited to get you going, and just want to thank you for being in our group and getting ready to rock and roll. So have a great day, and I will see you guys later. Bye.